Am I on mute? Am I on mute? How do I? Am I on mute?
No, you're not. You're live. You can unmute everyone just to say hi.
But they can hear me right now. Hello, everybody. We will start in a few minutes, and just let's give other colleagues a few minutes to join the webinar. So can you please, in the meantime, can we take advantage of this little break and let me know if you can hear me well? Can somebody type, please, and let me know if you can hear me? Thank you. Thank you, Johan.
Should we? It's 2 or 3 minutes.
So we shall begin in 2 or 3 minutes, just giving colleagues to log in and to get comfortable. And then I will hand it over to Zach, who is our resident expert on Bellerbys. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Luba, and I'm a partner sales manager for Levant, North Africa, and South Europe region. So I work very closely with Zach. And Bellerbys is our premium product, is our priority product for study group. So we are very keen for partners to learn as much as possible about this exciting college. And so you will feel confident promoting it and talking to students and parents what Bellerbys has to offer. So it's, in a nutshell, custom-made education for students who would like to gain entry into top universities in the UK. And we have 4 specialist colleges, and Zach will go in detail to discuss each college individually. But just to sum up, very excited that Bellerbys is under the study group's umbrella, and it's one of my favorite products to promote to parents and to students and to partners. Okay, so I will just now introduce Zach and welcome everybody officially to the webinar. And we are doing quite a few of these webinars on different products, so it's very important that you join in and learn as much as you can about each destination, about each brand that we have, because study group offers a very complex portfolio of universities and programs. So it's very important that we spend good quality time on each brand to learn as much as possible about admission, about key selling points, about benefits of recommending a particular brand. So I'm handing it over to Zach, who's our resident expert on Bellerbys. He's your contact for any inquiries related to Bellerbys, and of course you can always be in touch with me. So we work very closely, I work very closely with Zach, and Zach works very closely with me. So I'm handing it over to Zach.
Thank you very much, Luba. That's quite an introduction. I think she summarized everything. Hi everyone, I believe, sorry, I put you all on mute just to make it easier for me to communicate with you. But you still have a way to communicate with us, asking questions in the meantime, which is by typing your question. I think it's very easy to do so. If you rather have asking question verbally, so I'll give you an opportunity after the presentation to just raise your hand, which is, there is a button like on the hand shape. Click on it. I will figure out that you have a question. I'll give you the opportunity to speak out and ask whatever you want. If there's any other questions come up after the presentation, after the webinar, we are available, either myself or Luba. Send an email or just pick up the phone and give me a call. Luckily, the majority of you I'm very familiar with, so I know you in advance. And thank you very much for attending this webinar. It won't be bombard informations like giving you a headache and feel sleeping, but I'm trying to be very, very short and brief because I believe you know the most things about Bellerbys, just more details about boarding school, which is our focus in 2016. All right, so let's start. First of all, Bellerbys, as you can see, is #1 choice for international students. We are #1 international boarding school. What I mean by that is there are a lot of boarding school in UK. I believe there are more than 2,000 boarding school, believe it or not, in UK. We are number 29 overall ranked boarding school in UK, but we are #1 international boarding school. What I mean by that, the majority of British boarding school are mainly focused on home students. It could be a small number of international, but the majority are home students. The story is different with Bellerbys. We are mainly focused on international students rather than home students, although we have number of home students. So that's why I'm trying to be clear, because some people, I did a presentation before and I mentioned that we are #1 international school, and they were arguing with me about this ranking. So slightly different. We are #1 international school, but overall we are number 29th boarding school in UK out of more than 2,000 boarding school in UK. So just do the calculation and you know how good we are in this. The UK is #1 choice for international students. I try to start with this because I know the majority of you have multiple options when the students come in the office or contacting you. What I mean by that is it's not only about Bellerbys or which school in UK. Sometimes it's which country destination students need to go to. So we're trying to raise or to show you the beneficiary of being in UK. The excellent academic outcomes of UK universities overall or boarding schools is very important for families to know as well. There are 3 elements Bellerbys are very proud of. The experience of Bellerbys in this industry. We have more than 50 years experience, especially dealing with international students. That's a massive thing. Some universities or schools in UK, they might be even over 100 years in this business, but they're really lacking of experience dealing with international students. And I assume you all know the difference between international students or home students. It's massive different. And there are a lot of unique or special requirements for the international students. Bellerbys has that experience, how to deal with it, how to provide it, how to prevent issues for students from day one on arrival until they graduated and becomes ready to go to university and engage with home students. I'm talking personally as an international student myself years ago, and I know how important for international students to find the right place, right city, right atmosphere, good communication with international students is really, really crucial for them. So I assume you use this as well to convince students where to go. And also the excellent result we provide every year. This is massive as well for us, and we're really proud of it. We can go for more details about this later on, but just briefly, majority of our students last year, probably half of them, they achieved distinction. So this is really important as well. Unique approach to education as well, treating international students, I just briefly mentioned. So these 3 elements that we're going to focus on during this presentation as well. And what's all Bellerbys about? The breast education system, probably a lot of us, or personally, I was really familiar with foundation and undergraduate, postgraduate system in the UK. But the boarding school or GCC, high school, sixth forms in the UK is slightly different from country to country. In order for you to sell or to introduce this program, when you're trying to work with it, you have to understand it first. So you have to understand what's the requirement for this program, where your students is going to fit in, which year, and how long it's going to take for these students doing this program to reach the university or the foundation or A-level. So for our programs, GCC, which is 3 years, year 9, students always around 13, starting year 9, and 14-year-old equivalent to year 10 GCC in the British system, and etc. like 15-year-old, 11, and then 16, A-level either or foundation. That is not really a must, by the way. Students still can do A-level if they are 17, if they miss 1 year, if they repeat it 1 year for any other circumstances. We look at it case by case, but this is just the standard. If a student didn't miss any year, didn't have any, special circumstances, that would be it. 16 A-level, 17 A2, which is the second year of A-level. The student by 18-year-old should be year 1 at the university. But you all know a lot of students are still 18, 19, even 20, and they haven't started their undergraduate program. They might just looking for foundation. As I said, we can look at it case by cases. We're not shutting the door for you. So the flexibility we have, it really suits you. What kind of programs Bellerbys provide? As I said, we mainly focus on the boarding school, which is GCC, but I found it is very good opportunity to mention the other programs as well. We do a lot of or variety of programs. GCC pathway, we have 2 types of them. GCC pathway 3 years or 1 year GCC. It's still a GCC for 1 year, but slightly different to the pathway. The pathway, as I mentioned earlier, it's 3 years, start from year 9, 10, 11, and a student can enter at any one of those. If a student's, let's say, in Morocco, probably Zainab, listen to me now, finish year 9 and 10 in Morocco or in their country, and they want to come to UK, they still can do just year 11 and carry on in foundation or A-level. So no matter what the student has studied in their country, we can value that, and they don't have to repeat years. For the 1 year GCC, it's a special program. This one is designed for students who already finished their high school, but they're not really qualified for foundation or A-level. Either they are very weak, or a student finish probably year 10 and they need to do 1 year GCC, or a student finish year 11 at the secondary school, but as I said, they have very low grades or they failed, but there is some potential in them. We still can accept them, not directly for foundation or A-level, but they have to do 1 year GCC plus foundation and A-level. And this is very good bonus for Bellerbys, to be honest, and for you as well, guys, because as many options you have, as better for you, because you don't like someone coming to your office, a student really desperate to go to UK, and you say, oh no, sorry, you are very weak, I cannot find the program for you. So we always would like to give a chance to students, as long as they show some potential, commitment. Their parents, they really like see their kids good enough to do it, so we give them this opportunity. So that's the difference between pathway and 1 year only GCC. And after that, student will have two options, either foundation or A-level. The foundation is 1 year program, 3 terms. We have multiple intake throughout the year. We have 4 centers, each one specializing in different subjects. For the A-level, it's the same. We have 4 centers, each one is specializing in different subjects. Except Brighton, actually, it has everything in Brighton, as long as the students hasn't reached a certain age. For A-level student, it should be under 18 when they finish, or 18. For the foundation, it should be 17. So if a student is 17 can do foundation, or 18 is fine. In Brighton, otherwise they will need to choose A-level. Entry requirement will come to it later on. The other programs we have is undergraduate year 1. A lot of you really ignore this option, but it's very, very important for you to know that Bellerbys provide undergraduate year 1, and students after finish this program can progress to university for years 2 and 3 only. There are a number of universities partners with us accepting those students, as long as the students meet the entry requirement. All this information is provided in the website with details, but I'm very happy with you to send me an email and say, I need more information about this with details. I will send you even the university partners' names and everything. And if you have the brochures, which is I assume so, you can find all these universities mentioned in the brochures. If you don't have the brochures, so Ms. Luba is next to me. She would be so happy to provide you those brochures, and you just need to order it online. Also, the pre-master is very good. The program is not very popular, let's be honest, in UK, this pre-master, because it's just English-oriented program. Is not an academic or specializing in certain area. We know some universities do pre-master in business, let's say pre-master in engineering, whatever, where a student can study some modules in engineering or whatever related to their subject. Our pre-master is completely different. It's designed to someone who is qualified for the master degree, also university accept them already, but students either need more time to settle in UK, so are not very comfortable to start university and say, I really need a couple of months before I go to my master's degree. Or the students really new to UK system and I need, let's say, it's a bit confused how things is taught in UK. We give them this opportunity and find the method the university use during their master's degree. It's only for English. As a result, any students lacking of English, even if they have the requirement IELTS score, they can do our pre-master. Or student having found yet the university choice, the perfect choice for him, they can come and do 3 months or 6 months pre-master with us. During that period, they will figure out which university is better for them by arranging some visit to those universities, or the academic advisor in Bellerbys College will give them a lot of advices on the university choice. English courses and the summer. Basically, Bellerbys doesn't have just English courses like other English school. As a study group, as Luba mentioned earlier on, that we are under the study group umbrella. We have another brand specializing just for English, which is the Embassy. I'm sure all of you know that. Embassy can do any English course, either for 1 month, 3 months, just specifically for English study. So anyone just want to study English and maybe go back home or looking for university can do it in the Embassy. But for any students who are interested to do one of our program I just mentioned earlier, but they're missing the entry requirement for the English. We can offer them based on their grades how many terms they need. Let's say we need 4.5 IELTS for the foundation, and the students has got only 4 or 3.5, let's say. We don't say to the students, you don't meet entry requirement, you have to improve your English and that's it. No, we provide them 1 term English plus foundation, or 2 terms. Each missing grade, students can do 1 term to cap with it. So we do English courses, and the summer program, for Bellerbys, it's just a marketing tool, to be honest, and for you as well. It's not beneficiary for us at all to use the summer program. It's £950 per week. Student can do either 2 weeks or 4 weeks in 4 centers, by the way. And this summer program, it helps the student to have a better idea about, first of all, Bellerbys, and about UK overall. If a student's not really comfortable about their choice to go to UK or even about Bellerbys, they can come with us, spend 2 weeks. They will have a lot of fun, like sport activities or sightseeing visits. They study some academic English, and they can do some academic subjects as well. Like if a student's interested to do business and foundation or A-level with Bellerbys, they can come in the summer and say, can I do some maths in 2 weeks or 4 weeks? That's absolutely fine for us. So you can imagine the benefit of doing maths in 2 weeks. There is no exams, there is nothing about it, but just the student will feel comfortable about how it looks like studying in England. For this year, and I assume for next year, any student choose our summer program and they decide to come back with us for academic program, we can refund the summer program or wipe it from their tuition fees back to the students. There's a very, very good percentage about the summer program. More than 80% of students attending our summer program, they come back. They come back either for foundation or A-level or GCC. The age range for the summer program is from 14 to 17. So any students from 14 to 17. We have students come to the summer program from more than 30 countries, I think, from all over the world. This is briefly what the program we do. Why study GCC at Bellerbys? GCC pathway and GCC for 1 year. I mentioned briefly there are a lot of boarding schools in the UK, which is more than, I believe, 2,000. Why your students need to study at Bellerbys, not going to a traditional boarding school in the UK? It's basically, as an international student, it's a massive step in your life to decide, leave home and come to UK and study. It's a big challenge. And what makes it bigger is the culture shock when you come to UK, and especially from countries like, I don't know, the majority of other countries like Middle East, Levant, I believe you are from there, or Pakistan, wherever you came from. A lot of schools, they don't follow the English curriculums. So students to leave his school back home and come to UK and join a traditional British school, where the majority of them are British students, is really big challenge in that young age. I mean, I can imagine even if you come to university and you are over 18, it's a massive challenge. Imagine someone 13, 14, 15-year-old. I think this is not a guaranteed failure, but it's very big challenge, and the students, the majority of them cannot cope with it. We have a lot of students who already moved to UK with the boarding school, and they just contact us and say, I can't make it, I want to come with you, I need to be with the international students. Because it's transition, like we take a step by step for them. Move to UK, be with international students where everyone shares the same challenge, by the way. It makes it easier for you as an international student in young age. You don't feel different, you don't feel isolated, you don't feel like it's just you. you feel like everyone has the same circumstances, and that will give you more confidence to focus, to move on, to getting interacted with your classmates. Also, the experience that our teaching staff have dealing with international students that will help you. So, in traditional boarding school, maybe teacher that doesn't need to slow down when they speak, just for you to understand. But this is happening in international schools like Bellerbys. We really consider that a student, no matter how good in English, they need to be treated slightly differently than honest students. Not in a bad way, but what I mean, like, we need to consider that this is not their mother tongue language, for example. Also, we do consider their difference in their background, religiously as well, culture-wise. All these variety things, we look after it and we consider it. So that's why we think choosing an international school rather than traditional boarding school in the UK, it's a massive for the parents, for the students as well, and it's very important. And if you decide to choose an international school, as I mentioned earlier, we are #1, so there is no plan you go somewhere else. This is how Bellerbys GCC program looks like, with the entry requirement as well, which is the IELTS. Students, if they come year 9, as you can see, and I hope you see it clear, they can start either in June, September, or January. If a student starts in June, which is needs some English course, EBB, English preparation, if a student has got 3.5, it doesn't have to be the IELTS, by the way. This could be the equivalent to IELTS. So, because child visa students, or even they don't need visa, the under 18 students who is doing GCC, they don't really need to do IELTS, but they still need to take our exam. So if they have 3.5 or equivalent, they just need to take one term in June, and etc. Like if they don't need it and they have equivalent to 4.5, they can start the pathway in September. Year 10 as well, when they start September, and year 11 start in September only as well. So if a student just for year 9, they have multiple options. For pre-GCC, the 1 year GCC I mentioned earlier on, if a student missing the English level, we call it pre-GCC, not English language preparation course. No, it's just specific for GCC, 1 year GCC program. Either 1 term or 2 term, exactly. Say, how many subjects for the GCSE would be 9 subjects year 9, and 10 and 11, 6 subjects only for 1 year GCSE. And year 9 GCSE pathway, we call it the discovery year. And the reason why we call it discovery year, because we give the opportunity to our students to figure out, not by themselves, but with our advices and based on their performance during this year. We give them everything, a little from everything: science, engineering, business, humanities, whatever it is, art. A student can choose any subject of those. During this year, a student will figure out, and as long as their academic teachers are satisfied with their option, then during this year, students will know which pathway they will decide. Unfortunately, for many of the international students who comes to universities, not even to boarding school, to university, they still are. When you ask them what do you want to study, they say, I really don't know. So it's a big deal for them to know in an early age. This will help the student from very young age to focus on their pathway rather than being confused between science, business, engineering at the university. So they will know from a very early age what they are good at, what they like, rather than taking some suggestion from parents, whereas the majority of students say, I want to do medicine. When we ask them why, say, well, my dad is a doctor, I just want to be like him. That's not good enough. That doesn't guarantee you will be as good as your dad. So we work it out during this year to figure out what's the best option for the students. For year 10 and 11, after spending 1 year discovering what's the best for the student, this is what makes us unique in how we approach the education inside the Bellerbys. We don't really, we give the opportunity to students, even in year 10 and 11, to do whatever they like. Let's say students say, I really liked science, but I love to do some art as well. In traditional boarding school, it doesn't happen that way. If a student is specializing in science, they just need to study science subject related. In Bellerbys, they will have an opportunity to choose an optional subject. What I mean by that, like if a student doing science, as I say, and he just or she just want to carry on doing some related to our subjects, we give them this opportunity to say that's fine. Just that your main focus is science. The main subject will be science related, but you still can do maybe a third language if you're like maybe German. You can study French. We want them to be comfortable with the options they do, as long as they are good in other language, but it's not related to their choice. We can allow them to do so. 6 GCC pathway. This is for the 1 year GCC program. A student can choose either of those. By this stage, student should be more clear on which area he wants or she wants to study, and that would take them either to A level as mentioned in the slides, or they still can do foundation before the university degree. This is just an example of the timetable of the students, GCC students mainly. You can see the variety of subject and how we mix it. It's not something like you can do it the whole day. Break, lunchtime, activities, arrangement activities, which is in the evening. We come to it later on. And there is a supper from 6 to 7. And there is a supper study, which is at their accommodation. Someone will be looking after that. Just an example. A lot of family asking for this. So I thought to show you a prototype of our timetable or weekly timetable. Some of the universities arrangement activities we can do during the study. I mentioned in the timetable in the evening time, student can do some arrangement activities, or even on the weekends. Some examples of this: university visits, invitation speakers from universities, or some related business we do in the college as well. These some places Bellerbys students had in the past, or they still doing some activities in these places, and that will be related to their subjects, like visiting some museum for history students, or doing some workshops at other business universities, engineering universities. It's not any university, by the way, we choose. It has to be a very high-ranking university in order for us to take our students. Otherwise, there is no point taking our students to those universities and experience a very high level of quality, either from students who are attending those universities or using those universities' first-class labs or workshops here. This is exactly like the timetable as I showed, arrangements, activities for our science, our arts students, engineering as well. I mentioned all over again. I want to talk more about the enrichment program. I think there are slides especially for the enrichment program. It's free of charge. A program is not mandatory, it's optional, but we really encourage our students to attend this enrichment program. What the enrichment program is all about is used by students to work on their personal skills, things they needed either at the university or afterward, even during their career's time. A lot of students who are very good in their subject, but they lack of some personal skills related to that subject. Let's say some business students, they are very good in maths, they are very good in business subjects, but they can't do presentation, they can't. Or they can't talk in public. They can't do any public discussion or group discussion. They cannot do it. Just a lack of confidence, or they never try it. Even they finish the university, even master degree students, sometimes they lack of this. We provide this opportunity to those students to work on this. We have an example. Last year we mentioned to the majority of students, we had a student from Russia who came to Bellerbys and he wants to study business. First day after, oh, it's not first day, first week of being in Bellerbys, he didn't even want to talk to anyone. That guy was really shy and he has a problem talking to public. We worked on it and we invited him for the arrangement program. By the end of his program, he did the speech for the whole Bellerbys students and staff. And that was an example of the benefit of being in the enrichment program. And there's other examples for business students, engineering, using other third-party equipment, visiting those places for the art students. Last year we took them to France for the art trip to visit some art museum in France, which is, I'm sure you are aware of. Expert teacher, outstanding facilities. Anyone has been in UK or particularly in Bellerbys, you will notice it's not a school standard. The facilities, the labs, the schools, the classes, is really compared to universities. We had this feedback is not from students only, from universities that we have partnership with. Universities are really proud and happy with the facilities we have, and they really like saying a very good thing about it. Says this transition from the students comes from their country to university is very smooth because they use in similar facilities to the university they're going to. And it's really important. And I always say to students when they decide where to go, I say, no matter how smart you are as a student, you still need other elements to be provided to you. What I mean by that, if a student doesn't have a good facilities during the study or a high standard teachers, they will struggle. Even if they pass, even if they graduate, they will really struggle. They cannot be a high standard students without those elements. Half of our teachers in Bellerbys either have master or PhD degree or graduated from Oxford and Cambridge. One of our, just an example how good they are, one of our student service, a translator, just a translator in Bellerbys, he has a PhD from UCL. He's an Egyptian guy. He has a PhD from UCL and he works with the student service. So you can imagine what kind of advices this guy can give the students who are aiming to go to top ranked universities. So we know, jokingly, we know what we're doing. That's why we prepare a student to a bigger challenge, to a high level challenge. So it has to be that level, especially for more practical subjects like engineering, science, without first class standard facilities like labs or equipments they need to practice with, they cannot even be accepted by university because something is they have to practice it during their A-level or GCSE studies. That's why these are very, very important. In some events I attend personally, some students say, why, even they question sometimes the price, probably you've been in that position, say, well, I can do A-level in slightly cheaper place. That's fair enough, you can do it. Absolutely, you can do it even for half price, but you have to look at this kind of thing is at the institution, like what type of teacher staff they have, the facilities as well. Are they good, their results every year? Because without those elements, without investing in this, you cannot have a very good results. And that's what we invest in our teachers. We invest in our facilities. The classroom in Bellerbys, by our policies, the average number of students in each class should be around 13, no more than that. It's a rule because we want our students to have a one-to-one experience, teaching experience. I mean, being in a class with 40, 50 students, where some schools do, it doesn't really give you a benefit of being in a class. Some of them, some teachers, they don't even notice that you are in a classroom. But just with 10, 13 students, there is nowhere to hide, to be honest. You have to interact with your classmates, with your teachers, day in, day out. There's no once a month teacher will hear from you. It has to be every day. Having this experience, the judgment or the review on your performance will be more accurate rather than being in a group of 40 or 50 students, even 30. It's quite a lot. So that's really important to know as well. These are just examples about the boarding school, or some pictures, sorry, in Brighton. Our lovely centre in Brighton is 2 minutes from the train station, is in the city centre. If you haven't been there, I'm sure you will be one day. And if Miss Luba is very happy with you guys, she can arrange a visit to the centres based on your performance, by the way. First class, as I said, building facilities, accommodation as well, which is really important. We have an expert staff who are looking after our students day in, day out. Just an example of like Miss Susan, who's dealing with our students on a daily basis, looking after their needs, providing them whatever they need in the house, even in the evening time. Is very important. The care we look after, we provide to our students is really something we're proud of. And because even parents, if they not feel comfortable with the place they send their students to, or their kids, sorry, to, they won't send it. That's why we have to show them how good we are, how secure the place as well. Electronic gates everywhere in the building. Student cannot leave alone, by the way, in certain age, under 16. There is no way students leave the center alone. They have to be in groups or with someone, relatives, perhaps parents, or anyone lives in UK, maybe with permission from their parents. So we really good at this thing. Just some comments from our home students. As I said, the minority of our students are British who study in GCSE, and you can see even British sometimes choosing the international school rather than their traditional boarding school, and why they are more comfortable with being in the international student rather than local students. I'm not discouraging those students to be with English students, no at all. But as you know, nowadays, it's everything internationally. At the university, even at work later on, you might have highly likely will be working with multiple nations, background staff. Growing with this environment, it helps you a lot. You will learn from young age how to deal, how to communicate with different background people, how to live with, how to cooperate with. That's something is really important. Um, this slide maybe for you is the most important slide. It's about scholarship. We provide three types of scholarship mainly, by the way. It's 20%, 40%, 70%. To be graduated or qualified for a scholarship, you have to be an outstanding student, and there's certain criteria for each one. The 20%, which is the least one, let's start with the 70%. The students, in order to qualify for the 70%, there is a specific procedure they need to go through. First of all, the recruitment staff, which is myself and Luba, we need to check their transcript. Their transcript has to be an outstanding, something very like at least A's. If it's not A's and A stars. If we are happy with the transcript, then students will go to the second stage, which is taking some exams. Those exams would be in subjects related to what they're going to study in the academic program. If a student study business, mainly focus would be on business-related subjects and maths. If science could be exams in physics, chemistry, biology, etc. If students finish the exams and we are really happy with the score, then we'll go to the third and last stage, which is interview by the principal. The principal can interview the students via Skype or wherever they like to. Even the exams will be taken in their country. It's not in, doesn't have to be in UK. That would be mainly in your offices, guys, regional office, wherever you are based in. If students apply for 70% and pass the first stage, high grades, and for certain reason they couldn't make it for the last stage, they will be automatically qualified for 40%. There is nothing they need to do. So as long as they were considered for the 70% and then they failed for the exam or the interview wasn't really good, the principal wasn't happy with that, then they will be automatically qualified for the 40%. If a student quite good but has like lacking of finance resource or they really wants to come with us for certain reason, they need some discount, we could offer them easily 20% as long as they are good enough or they have a good potential in that. Lastly, I'm going to show you some key facts about our programs, which is entry requirement, just very briefly, year 9, year 1.
Maybe mention that for specialist colleges, it's important, like London business.
Okay, yeah, let's go through the entry requirement very briefly, and then we're going to talk about the 4 centers with a little bit more details. Just very briefly, you don't have to know this by heart. I can send it to you. You can find it online, print it out, whatever you want to do with it. For the year 9, students will study about 70 subjects, tutorials, and 9 core subjects, and then they are around 13. ICE 4.5. That direct entry, if they are less than 4.5, they will need probably 1 or 2 terms English. And exactly the same as the year 10, as you can see, the entry requirement, if they are 14, 5.0 or equivalent, could be 5.5 for the January intake, for the year 11 as well. I'm not going to read all of these, just very briefly. I should have amended one of the entry requirements, which is, I think, for the pre-GCC. We mentioned TOEFL, but TOEFL is not really accepted anymore in UK. So ignore that fact. But students still, as I said, because they are under 18, applying for GCC, they still can do our English test, which is not much easier than IELTS, but it's easier for them to take that English test either at home under their parents or someone responsible observation, or they can do it in your office as well. As soon as we mark that test, then we can decide whether the students need more English preparation or they are qualified for direct entry. All right. Before we end this, as per local request, as you know, all of you, we have 4 centres, guys: Brighton, Oxford, Cambridge, and London. And each one of those specializing in certain area, certain pathway. For London is our business school, specializing in business. So anyone want to study business-related subjects, the same, finance, accountants, international relation, this kind of subject. London would be their main or first option. If they are under 18, they can do Brighton if they wish to. But our suggestion always for the student to go to London. People will say, why, if I'm comfortable in Brighton? There would be more benefit being in London if you study business. London, as you know, is the heart of business in UK, probably in Europe, or one of the business city in the world. And we got the advantage of this. Being in London, the location of our centre is in southeast London, which is Greenwich, one of the most beautiful place in London. Or not only this, but being very close to an area called Canary Wharf, which is a business area where you can see the headquarters of the biggest companies in the world. Just an example, HSBC headquarters in there, Barclays, Bank of England is in there. Those big companies in business based in Canary Wharf. We have taken, and we still regularly taking our business students to those companies. We arrange these visits regularly, sometimes monthly visit. It's not for fun. We take our students and allow them and give them the opportunity to meet with this company's staff and have the opportunity to discuss a business-related subject. So imagine students in young age standing or talking to someone who's been in business for 20, 30 years. So experience will never be in a classroom. Students cannot find it online or in a book. They cannot have it unless they practice it. So we give them this opportunity. Also, regular time, we invite speakers from those companies or even business schools in big universities like UCL, LSEs. They come to our classes and give speech to our students about business overall, some advices how to make it through your pathway and to your top universities and after the university as well. So this is very valuable. Also, London is the only centre we have undergraduate year 1 in business, that's the only subject we have, and pre-master as well. Pre-master undergraduate is only taught in London. For Cambridge, we have science and engineering. Exactly what I said about London Centre for Business is applies for the Cambridge Centre as well. So any students who wants to study a science-related subject or engineering, Cambridge will be their main options. And still, if they are under 18, they can choose Brighton as well. Exactly the same activities we do our business students in London, we do it in Cambridge for science and engineering students. Many times our students in Cambridge, they visit Cambridge University, and we know what's the Cambridge University all about. They even attended some classes in there. We have an arrangement with the University of Cambridge. They allow our students to attend some public open lectures where they can sit alongside with the current Cambridge University students and have the opportunity to interact, even asking questions, and using University of Cambridge labs as well, practicing in there and do some activities in there. For Oxford, is mainly for law and art media students and specializing in those areas. The reason why I said a student can choose Brighton no matter what subject is, as long as they are under 18, because Brighton is mainly boarding school. We not allow students over 18 to use the same facilities and building with the boarding school students. So students from 13, 14, we cannot allow them to get engaged with over 18 students in the same time. That's why we are very strict on this. This is very briefly about the 4 centers. And as I said, if you have any questions, if you have, it doesn't have to be now. If you have questions, it could be any time after the webinar, tomorrow, next week, whatever. I'm available. Just send me an email, pick up the phone and ask me those questions. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Now I'll give you the opportunity to raise your hand, guys, which is the button I mentioned earlier. Just click on it. I will know that you have a question. I will give you or unmute you so you can ask this question, or you can type it. As you said, you are attending earlier. Is there anyone has got any question, please? Am I taking this as no? There you go. There you go. Zainab. Yes, Zainab, please, just a minute. I'm gonna unmute you. Hi, Zainab.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yes, please. Do you have a question for me?
Okay, directly. You can hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So a student who has excellent records in high school and who will graduate with the French baccalaureate with very good grades.
Okay.
If his target is to be admitted to a Russell Group University, can he be admitted to the A-level program for 1 year instead of 2?
It could be. I think I remember this case, which is, I think we discussed it in the email. Yes, absolutely. Students, in order for the students to do just 3 terms A-level, either students will be very an outstanding students, so we can consider them just for one year A-level,
Okay.
or students repeating the A-level, so students study A-level in their country and they're not good enough, they repeat it in the UK, we can offer them just 1 year A-level. Or the third option, a student finish their high school in their country and they study 1 more academic year, either at university or they did foundation or something differently. So in this case, which is your students, you say she or he outstanding grades in their bachelor degree, that's absolutely fine. We can really consider this student, baccalaureate, yeah. We can really consider him or her for the one year A-level, and they have a very good opportunity to go to Russell Group universities. Yes, absolutely fine. It does, by the way, Zainab, just students who are targeting a Russell Group university, they don't really have to do A-level. Foundation at Bellerbys will allow them to go to those universities as well.
Yes, but Oxford University and Cambridge, they don't accept foundation students.
Absolutely. Oxford and Cambridge, that's a different story. There are a lot of, I think 12 or 11 Russell Group universities, they will accept the foundations. So if they're not really targeting Oxford and Cambridge, they can choose other Russell Group universities, yes.
So they can do 1 year A-level and still apply to Oxford and Cambridge?
They can, but we not guarantee, even if they do 2 years A-level, we don't guarantee the progression to Oxford and Cambridge.
Nobody guarantees Oxford or Cambridge. That's what
yes.
I mean, it's hard to do with their performance, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Zainab.
Thank you.
Cheers. There is a question from Anna Petrova. Once we have any further question, okay, sorry, that's not a question. All right, Anna, thank you very much. Yes, I appreciate that. Just I'm trying to find if there is anyone who's got a question. Okay, I think Gadi Khalid, just Gadi. Hi, Gadi. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Gadi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Absolutely, I can. Yes, everyone can hear you.
All right,
So
brilliant.
please
I just want to ask, I just want to ask in terms of the accommodation at the Brighton campus. So you explained that it's the boarding school mainly. So I'm assuming it is strictly for under 18 students. There are no off-campus accommodation for under over 18 students who want to study foundation, for example.
Well, yes and no. Let's explain. Mainly, we don't have over 18 students in Brighton, as I mentioned earlier on. We are quite like strict on this. We try not accept the students over 18, but if it happens, certain circumstances, students 18 or slightly above were accepted in Brighton, students will have the choice of off-campus, homestay, or residence, whatever they want.
Yes, because I was looking at the options, the accommodation options, and the only option we found was the homestay, and there wasn't an off-campus accommodation option.
That will be down on the availability. If there is no available, depends on the time you apply. So if you apply now for September 2016, there is a definite place for the on-campus place. But if you come like July, August, that would be, it might be not available. But doesn't mean students over 18 cannot have a resident, no. So that's a very good question. Thank you very much. I will go through it now. I'll give the more explanation about it. For GCC students, it's compulsory to stay on a campus. Okay, there is no choice. Unless if their family lives in UK or specifically in Brighton. If they live nearby the center, we allow them to stay with their family. Okay. For who doing foundation or A-level, they will have the opportunity to choose. They want on campus, which is the one at the center, exactly like beyond the classroom, or there is another one, resident accommodation is 15 minutes away from the center, or they can do a homestay. So absolutely fine. Yeah. For the other centers, it doesn't matter. The students over 18, they can choose whatever they want. There is on campus, there is homestay. They can have a private accommodation, by the way. Over 18, they can rent their own accommodation.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see if there is anyone else has got a question. Right. Anna Petrova, do students have a chance, right, to choose a residence? As at times, this is quite important, particular residence. Yes, Anna.
Read the questions in the back.
I think. Okay, let's read it loudly. Do students have a chance or the right to choose a residence at any time? There are specific inquiry. If I'm understanding perfectly your question, Anna, if the student has got the opportunity to choose the residence or not at any time, well, depends on the availability. We send you guys, I believe so, our admission team. They send out availability at our accommodation regularly. At the times we get closer to the intake date, we send regularly how many accommodation are available in each type of accommodation we have. Like, as I mentioned to your previous colleague, if students apply for September, by January, will have more opportunity to choose the resident. But coming closer to the intake date, there is a chance for not accepting students at the resident because it's full. That's the only reason student cannot choose the resident. As long as there is availability, we accept anyone at the residence. I hope this answers your question, Anna. If yes, please let me know. If not, I will. Thank you so much. All right, you're welcome, Anna. Okay, just for last minute now. Okay, yes. Anyone else has got a question, guys? Just let me know, please, before. Alexander, how flexible our school? Okay, how flexible our school allow the students to do extra sporting activities at the weekends? Well, it depends on their subject, by the way. For GCC students, we allow them, but with more rules rather than over 18 students or foundation A-level students who are maybe over 16, who they can practice whatever they want, either a weekend or weekdays. But for the GCC students, for the foundation, for the foundation they can do whatever they want. We can even help them. There are a lot of internal sport activities at the school itself. We have exclusively a sport coach based in Brighton or the other centers as well, who helping our students to do indoor activities like playing tennis, basketball, yoga, this kind of sports. And we all also we competed even in local competitions with other colleges, schools, clubs if they are. Could they join other clubs if they are good enough? Absolutely. If a student, as I said, a student can decide whatever they want. We had a university student who wants to play football in a club, and we provided information. We helped them. So where to go, to speak to who, we can speak on behalf of the students, arrange that for them. But as I said, GCC students are more strict. We are very strict. We have to be managing these activities for them because they cannot leave anytime they want, and there are certain places they need to go to. Could you arrange a transport if needed? A transport for, do you mean doing their activities? Absolutely, we can arrange it. We have our student service arranging those transport. Even students, if they have a holiday, they want to go to the airport, they just need to go to the student service and ask them. But whether we're going to pay for it or not, no, we don't pay for the transportation, by the way. The students in charge of this transportation fees, if that make it clear. You're welcome, Alexander. Zainab, I think, has got another question. You mentioned something about evening classes for helping students who need extra academic help. Is that still offered for Bellerbys College students? Yeah, absolutely. The evening classes I mentioned earlier on, Zainab, it's arrangement program. These students will be allowed to meet their teachers again, either for a certain area or for personal skills, and something is not really related to their studies. They won't be exempted. As I said, how to do personal statement, how to do public speech or group discussion, this kind of things. They can practice this during their arrangement program time. But if students need more support academically, we don't really provide them an extra hour straight away. There is a procedure. Student first of all needs to speak to their academic advisor, say, I'm struggling a little bit with this subject, like let's say a student very good but struggling in maths. So how it works in Bellerbys, students need to raise their hand and say, I really need more support in maths and I feel like I'm behind my classmate. The academic advisor generally, like they will offer specific preparation for that student and specific method, like say we'll give them extra work, extra exercise, a guide of how to work, how to improve themselves alone. If that doesn't work, if a student like follow these structures and didn't work for them, they need more support, then there is another stage, which is students will sit with their teachers one-to-one and speak about it. If a student need more class, and teacher will look at other students, if there are like 3-4 students have the same needs, they will gather them in the same classroom for an hour or so each week and give them this support. So it's not by students' needs, say I need more support, it means we provide it straight away, but there are specific procedure academic advisor will follow up with. All right, I hope this answers your question, Zainab, my lovely Zainab. And let's see if there's any other questions. Well, guys, if there is nothing, I will handle the control back to my colleague Slova. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm still open. Doesn't mean you didn't ask questions now. It means you won't need any more answers. I'm free anytime you want me to. Send me a question. We're gonna do this webinar regularly, and just email me or phone me. You have my phone number, or let Slova know. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Cheers.
Thank you, Zach. And there you have it, folks. Bellerbys College, our modern solution to boarding schools education. And the key points to take away from this presentation is the fact that Bellerbys College is #1 boarding school for international students. So the spotlight, the focus is on supporting international students and making sure they do progress to top universities in the UK. We have 4 specialist colleges, so Cambridge, Oxford, Brighton, and London. We are very proud and very excited to spread the word about the enrichment activities that students have the opportunity to be involved in, which allows them to, the education goes beyond classroom, so students, it complements their academic curriculum, so very exciting opportunities just to, will complement their studies. And Zach mentioned a little bit about special preparation for Oxford and Cambridge. So we've got Oxbridge preparation program. Something to remember is that we are definitely focusing right now on January intake. So if you have any students who are interested in joining Bellerbys this January, please let us know. And an exciting initiative about the summer school program and the fees being waived if students are progressing to either IGCSEs or A-level. So this is a very exciting recruitment tool. We didn't talk a lot about admission because you probably have realized we offer a lot of programs, and it's just like Bellerbys offers custom-made education. The admission is also custom-made, so it's tailor-made to suit specific needs of individual students, so it would be difficult to address every scenario in 1-hour presentation. So if you have any specific questions related to admission, so you need to reach out to Zach or to me, and we will advise you accordingly. So on that note, thank you very much, and do give us your feedback about the presentation. As Zach mentioned, we will be running these sessions regularly. If there is something that we didn't address, we didn't mention, and you would like to hear, send us an email separately, and we will make sure we include this information next time we run this session. So we are doing these sessions not for us. We want to make sure you're comfortable and confident with the information. So again, Bellerbys is a very well-rounded institution which offers a lot of options for students, so we need to make it will be difficult to address all of them in one presentation. So your feedback is important. Send us a message and we will improve our presentation to make sure the information meets your needs and requirements. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and thank you for your support and support of study group and Bellerbys. So, and don't forget about January intake. Really look, hopefully you have some students, let us know. Thank you. Bye.